making history!
Why does it feel like Furina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking the—
Alright then. Who will be my opponent in the—
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins, just how much work did you do to
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for— The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is— Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean...
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontanian history.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Eric was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Furina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of— We had to select a location, construct a giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt—
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made also that as soon as I appeared on the stage,
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most—
Thank you.
As for you, Traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage. Oh? Is that so? Then I suppose I must have missed my final chance. It's fine. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial.
Madam Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received from—
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte! Oh, let Paimon see. Wait, then that means this document... So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time... Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the... I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the... This is the first... A Fatui Harbinger. The fortress... According... The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly understood when something surreal happens to you.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on, Nervy. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. Of course, it is only natural for humans to struggle.
That's true, but my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Wait, what was that? Lady Furina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking her.
Charge accepted. Lady Furina, do you plead guilty to the charge? Lady Furina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Furina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything.
Yeah, even though Lady Furina can be rather eccentric.
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure.
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want to commit to a charge that will If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the God of Justice that you will not have to face trouble.
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? You have to not only refute Furina's claims, but also overturn the long-held beliefs of the people.
Well, I tried to give you the chance to surrender. And if I was not the Archon, then...
First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second of all...
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse. But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
Neverlet sensed it too, huh?
Lady Furina is actually a human?
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been carrying a curse like you said. Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why for centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very
You tried to reference the Oratrice. But weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with a good explanation for that by now.
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans to comprehend. There is no—
Lady Furina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you—
I never thought you'd use that kind of—
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Furina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules—
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice. Instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon, haven't they?
The real Hydro Archon. Well, now you're really losing me. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally, and it has been operating independently ever since it was first created. You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god—
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
My power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just care—
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the—
You don't need to go that far.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much—
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people, and I've converted Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their day.
Isn't that a huge stretch?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power—
It seems like nobody's buying Furina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please don't stare at me as if I was I'm still the same Furina you knew, right? Please? You've got—
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a grave offense.
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And all of our ancestors? Ever since—
Enough! That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydro, if you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can you find anyone who can back up their claim to be such, then what grounds have you to say that I'm—
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. How can we refute her now? Seems like she really doesn't want to give up. That doesn't sound right. Paimon did... That doesn't sound... It has been established that all Fontanians can dissolve in water from the primordial...
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to...
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court. Though you act in partnership with the prosecutor, you must still adhere...
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area not long ago, taking many lives, including those of some of my closest friends. So, Miss Furina, would you dare to touch some of the seawater? If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching the seawater would have no effect on you. All it should... But, if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years. I guess...
If Lady Furina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontanian like all the rest of us. Would she...
Lady Furina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it...
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession of guilt.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word.
What's going on? Is she really planning to...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Furina, you may...
Hey!
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like a normal human who would fall apart as soon as they touch this water! Really? What—
Miss Siegewien? If you're present, Miss Siegewien, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
Siegewien?
Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see. That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss Siegewien.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Furina was displaying symptoms of She was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater.
Thank you, Miss Siegewien. Lady Furina, you may return.
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved. Shouldn't that—
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to We don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah, so out of regard for Furina's life, you secured a low concentration. It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Furina could have...
I can't believe you— Listen to me, everyone. Please don't think about it. How can you conclude? Also, if I was really just— Please, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. The odds are just...
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's any way left for Furina to win.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway me to just too stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Furina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Furina is guilty. We shall now turn to the oratrice mécanique d'analyse caught in... According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale.
Well, what's wrong? What's the oratrice's verdict?
No, the oratrice also displays...
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus: to be punished via the death sentence.
Ugh. That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always thought that it was just a myth.
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court, and it's been given to the
Furina's been sentenced to death by the oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, is this sentence really appropriate for the crime?
Yeah! Even Fauché wasn't sentenced to death by the oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
Indeed. Not only is Furina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial but now, the oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still going?
Fremine! Oh, you finally made it.
Mm-hmm. Any mission, Father is...
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Fremen...
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. But has the trial already concluded? Then... doesn't that mean I've come too late?
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates.
Huh? So what do you see? What is...
I believe I have now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to...
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, so when you say Hydro Archon...
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be... However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to...
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other three... The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her Does that mean that Fontanians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that. But if Oceanids can turn into humans, then Perhaps this process... The second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them. This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontanians were branded with their original sin. Does this mean that the third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people? That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else? Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontanians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea, the Hydro Archon crying on her throne, and so on. We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we? But after...
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women that Fontanians can be dissolved in primordial seawater. And the first stone slate tells us that long ago the Hydro Archon used her power to turn Oceanids into humans. This might be the reason that Fontanians can dissolve.
That doesn't sound quite... That doesn't sound quite...
Perhaps what is about to take place has all happened before. The true sin of the Hydro Archon that Nervilette mentioned, and the original sin cast down on the people of Fontaine by Celestia as recorded. It's not as simple as falling into the sea. When Navia fell into the sea, her consciousness was subjected to judgment. The stone slates show the people gathered around the Hydro Archon in the sea. Could that be a loop? The prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society. The fortress of Merope, if we hadn't dealt with it in time,
they'll dissolve into the primordial sea but won't cease to exist. Their essence will... The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking every... Navia fell into the water inside those ruins. The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress... The stone slate's contents... it now, so that's how you can make sense of it. But then it feels like we're going to have to share some...
Let's hear them.
Incredible. Linny,
we're not real humans.
All Fontanians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with the evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians could dissolve in primordial seawater, and how all the girls Vacher dissolved were also turned into... Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial, all of them in the shape of Oceanids.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celestia by creating humans without prior permission. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese. The twists of history are often the most unexpected of all.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate? In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only then will... Did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still do. However, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an addition. When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt. I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontanians and the sin of the in the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the... She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontanians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reversed. Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came.
So we were all
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death?
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontaine.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact. A key point of the visual on the third slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are... They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in... The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her Therefore, the meaning of that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes, it refers to our present situation.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold.
What should we do?
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy will be...
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will...
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fact about the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordials... However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, as for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before. This eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must find the root cause of the disaster.
It was both dream and reality.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea.
The truth, the original sin, the trial.
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the opera house? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why that whale does not belong to Teyvat. It is a monster. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main... And once it has finished consuming all of the...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Ocean...
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of... Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a pact...
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case...
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, from the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster...
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this, even if the entirety of Teyvat were to be destroyed, it could still...
That's not... We've already done everything we can, and we even found the truth. We've come so far. You can't just tell me...
Indeed. That's not how a grand
I'll fight it to the end. No matter what.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes. What has been prophesied? Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what.
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Furina!
No, I still need answers.
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing.
You are not Furina. Who are you?
Ah, the sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success.
Focalor. Why did you
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I had to outwit the heavenly principles. Allow the prophecy. I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids? Transform?
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left, she could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or her strengths were of a kind only a human. But in my eyes, Furina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Furina to be an actress, to play the part of the Hydra under the curse I placed on her. So long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace. I suppose now you probably understand why your
But Furina is only human. Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no strong. I cannot begin to.
It has indeed. And although she is innocent, it's been 500 years. And all along, She's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and...
Oh? Who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance. Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontanians are upon me. I must... Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
The long sleep beckons.
Yeah! I'll protect us. Ready, steady, go!
Be silent. Fear the dark.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
To dust. Observe. Close your eyes.
Yeah, hi.
Furina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you.
Wait a moment. You're... mirror me? How...
Mirror you, huh? You know what?
Mirror me. What do you wish to say?
The prophecy. Have you heard of it?
What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne.
Oh, there.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember.
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontanian just like them. Will I...
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to turn things around. I will tell you how to save everyone, but...
Oh, so there's still hope after all. As for the suffering, well, but if the prophecy will come true, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side...
I suppose this would also...
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well.
Play as... a god?
That's right. You must... If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying...
But how will I do that?
Don't worry. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you remember your true
I'm still not sure So, how long?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to... But I promise you, all...
A trial, huh? The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession. What should I say to most of... Ladies and gents, I'm sure you've all heard about how... In truth, I know little about becoming... As the god Focalor, the god of justice, I shall do... Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, this... should do... I thought I might stammer, but thankfully,
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen.
Wait, what's going on? Why is it right? Mirmi said that I just need to calm down, Furina. Think. Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all the... Oh, very good, my people. Only ones such as you are deserving of my rule. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house, would the... Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed, you may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought... Now then, let us be reintroduced.
So that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Her personality. It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and... My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, the scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its God. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and drink to the... No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want me to. There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. All that is need, so long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the Opera Epiclade.
Lady Furina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House? Besides, none of these trials were the...
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial?
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial.
That's true, I fear I lack the ability...
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now. Do your duties.
Lady Furina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for agreeing to see me.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank... Oh, all right. Deuteria, is it? How is your son's illness?
You remembered me, and you knew of my family. He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future...
You're such a gentle and wise God.
Lady Furina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific...
I see. It's as I thought, then. As your god, I did already expect this, but all manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still...
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute...
Really? Have they...
I'm afraid that they haven't found...
Oh, is that so? Well, no. The day is finally over. I haven't had a moment, but it's good to see that everything's getting on track. There are no longer any voices of suspicion. Maybe this is fine. I just need to keep going. And all right, Furina.
Lady Furina, here are the new trial reports.
There'll be no need for...
Lady Furina, I've...
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen.
Lady Furina, we're detecting significant hydrological...
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me... I don't think I let anything... I feel utterly exhausted.
Lady Furina, it's... I've heard that the first...
What is it, good citizen?
Are you crying?
Uh-huh. This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god who's...
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation.
So interminable. Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps I never imagined. Have I reached my limit? I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. But would that not just... I've conducted so many investigations across the century. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain this act. It is the only...
Furina, you don't have to shoulder this burden, although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone.
Share that's impossible. It was fated right from the...
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, just share it with
a witness. Yes. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show... She's right. I couldn't, but if things don't play out as expected... No, Furina. You shouldn't be... But what if... Furina, you've worked so hard. Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? If you let this opportunity, think about it. Long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness...
Fine.
So even Furina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed. It seems that trusting humanity was the right...
I believe that I understand how your deception works. How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine?
Ah, good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine.
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Linny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along.
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Alas, your understanding of this device. In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact. Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose? My work over these last 500 years has been to... But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device, the vast majority had to be,
It was all a part of your plan, then?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontaine, but only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Furina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon. The destruction of that divine throne. If I do not
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
But...
Oh, what? Getting sad again. The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign.
all you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice...
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now... Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty of ascension? Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons possessed. I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that, speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and their right to exist in this world would be Fontaine's original justice. In other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on. That, at this point, we, whether it be myself, Iudex Neuvillette, the highest judge in our land, when you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign.
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that that was your idea too. At last. I now understand. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside... You are a devious one, Focalor. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
I, Iudex Nouvelet, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
What just happened?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a feeling that something huge just happened.
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved...
It's time to end this. We must meet out.
Didn't you say just a moment ago that—
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the primordial sea from that creature. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out justice. The root of the calamities befalling Fontaine, the beast that enacts. Come with me, traveler. The hour of execution has come. find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together. Observe. I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility. Observe. Night falls. Close your eyes.
Come on! We can do it! Let the show begin.
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Chance will present itself.
Why is there a hole-looking thingy over there? It looks really scary.
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within. Close your eyes. Observe. Hear the dark.
Chew on this. Look, a rainbow.
Close your eyes. Observe. To dust. I'm rather out of sorts.
Let the show begin.
Cloud's high. The birds come!
Go claw.
Wind Strider!
Let's dance. Go, Barbara, go! Go, Barbara!
Manifest the authority of the ancient dragons. Witness the might of the fighter.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but it was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I thought.
That power.
Paimon has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be. It's just that he gave us the impression that she was
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, so you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial water. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk?
The point being?
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed an... So what sort of person is your master? Well, child's master's...
Oh, right. So you don't know him. His name is Sir Tologi.
Huh?
I am unfamiliar.
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous.
The fowl?
Still nothing? Well, how about the Visionary?
Ooh, that one we've heard! Rhine Doctor's part of the Hexen Circle. She's helping...
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from... But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar...
Wait! Didn't you also mention a visionary person?
Actually, never mind that. I believe that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the fontaine back on the surface has most likely... In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be...
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has...
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Furina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Hey! Help! Over here! All hands, initiate emergency rescue! Hurry!
Hey, lend a hand!
Look! The water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong! The prophecy was wrong!
Are you alright?
Yeah.
We're saved.
The prophecy was wrong.
this world I roam.
The soil renewed. The Furina di Rasula talks post-disaster rebuilding. Our old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Skyship Winglet, lunar brain of the font, the various disputes that have arisen. People always call the first research. Wow, Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Juria and Navia?
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple. The value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-up. Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship.
Paimon's curious too!
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. You're...
Are you sure? Hasn't he turned you down several times already?
Oh, this time will be different. Come on, let's head to Poisson. Navia! Oh, it's you.
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snežević. He represents... Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. I especially... But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same interest.
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to...
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour.
Huh? You're here too?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Furina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision-makers.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel.
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a...
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you...
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might have...
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let her off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up.
How did it go? Was it a good shot?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections. Who knows?
Wow, you really do have that.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the fort.
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess too. I asked Sijuin who...
That's a... very...
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked me was... When did... I told him that it was best not to speak too soon. There's no...
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case...
Stay safe now. And tell me...
guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feel.
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke! Did you come all the way to the end?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and...
It's an honor to finally meet the much...
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus.
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Hey, no need to be so nervous. Miss Charlotte.
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face...
Sir, please don't say things like...
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it. Might this...
No, I just... This is my first...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, the boat that brought him... Still, if I might...
Looks like Charlotte's...
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels.
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have an interview with you?
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo of this...
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone...
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this?
Ah, Siegeween.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't... sure. Come on, Miss Siegeween. Over this way.
Huh? Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at...
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some
Other than that flying ship, I got a tad...
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes...
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you two...
I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway...
He sure did...
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting his escape.
Oh, actually, what about you?
What change can there be? The Fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duty. As to what Miss Furina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the...
Hey, everyone! The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a...
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go.
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next... All right. Last stop, the docks.
Time to go. Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the...
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal.
Trick a friend.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by...
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact?
Lynette sure is working hard to help Fremine so.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and
that said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step.
Lynette, could you come over? Miss...
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got... Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very grateful for your...
That's all right. We were more than happy to help. So...
Oh, I guess you haven't... After Lady Furina left, Father and Monsieur Nervillet opened negotiations, during which he gave...
A diplomatic gift? A gnosis?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself. But when it could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his... Furthermore, Father did also lend...
Well, that's true, but this is a no...
I would agree, but I've...
So there's some reason for this...
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself.
Isn't he real busy and stuff? But back to the topic. The gnosis was given...
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear...
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the Traveler by chance.
Are you going to take the gnosis back to...
That is our duty as harbingers. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the switching my masks is something... Well, that depends on many things. No, as for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision?
And that's a wrap for me. Huh?
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our...
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled...
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met, too. And what do you know? I guess this must be life. We will all... All right, then. We'll be handing out pockets and...
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see what Neverlette's doing? As long as he's not so... in charge of all my work for today, so we can go play with Knuckle Duckle. The entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there! So, you really are here, Neuvillette! Paimon didn't think you were going to have...
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Lin. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up...
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. Thank you. All right, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually say?
It is strange how words can often leave a...
Whoa. So that's what happened? Focalor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged elemental. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontanians from
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute... Fontanians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial... But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to... In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontanians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved by water.
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy. Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Focalor finally managed to...
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root. As for the judgment passed by the Oratrice stirring the whether it was due to that liability by association, or Focalor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off.
Guess Focalor had Fontanians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her. Hang on a second. Back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had...
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontanians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to...
Yeah! Lynette said the fountain is where all the...
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans.
Paimon sorta gets it now.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Yeah, about that.
Ah, Lady Furina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon. I related Focalor's words to her faithfully and completely. She simply said that she was tired. Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the Opera House. Not un-
But she's still got...
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food. In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. But now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalor the Hydro Archon...
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've...
After Focalor passed on, the Oratrice also see... This matter will directly affect our trials.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the Udex, huh?
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. As such, before I attend to my other Additionally, the Hydro Archon's
That's true. That power... Wait, but the...
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute.
Wow. This ancient dragon...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so as far as I'm aware, Natlon can be...
A nation of dragons?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself well. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlon have undergone long years of development. Natlon is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiation. The harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into...
The Captain. Sounds like a real tough...
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlon. In the meantime, Fontaine, ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Hang on a sec. Paimon still got... When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude... We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you...
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. They are... So regarding this specific issue, I would... In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside...
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't... I can finally catch the scent of your power. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons. But with something very similar. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. Oh.
I do not know what you speak of.
Of course. You should have the remains of the third descender on your person.
Remains? I've never heard of any such...
According to your parlance, I believe it may...
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis but I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Fowl, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So it is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense. Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune. To live in itself is a blessing. But once
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my...
This third descender you refer to...
Master never mentioned them to me. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure...
Next time. You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not...
The remains of the third So that's what the Gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces, huh?
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special...
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it.
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine... I had guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but that means that the Gnosis, which are exceedingly element-compatible and can even enhance elemental... I wonder...
Like being able to use elemental power? No, let's not think about this stuff right now. Comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all? That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck. Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when...
Alright. Whatever the...
Yes. All of Focalor's...
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god.
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god. I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt, and what ultimately is the difference between